Imagine this. When you walk into your interview and the interviewer asks you, tell me about yourself, how are they looking at you? They're looking at you like this. They are looking at you as a book. And they want to know the summary of you, the summary of the story of you, not all the chapters. Keep watching and listening to today's episode of TalentSmiths Lunch and Learn Live as I share with you how best to answer the interview question. Tell me about yourself. 3 parts to answer this question. Mm-hmm. Today's show is brought to you by TalentSmiths, where today's top paid compensation professionals find their next career or their next career advancement. Check us out at talentsmiths.net for a free resume consultation to help grow your online presence and to help grow your career advancement intentionally. That's talentsmiths.net. Register with us to get your skills, qualifications, and availability in front of top organizations. You can register at talentsmiths.net for some tips on getting your foot in the door, whether it's a contract position or a direct hire position or contract to hire position. And those top organizations are watching. And you need to watch as well so that you can hone in and sharpen those skills for your career advancement intentionally. We're all about doing it intentionally here. Today, that is why I want to intentionally share with you how to best answer the most common interview question. Tell me about yourself. When you are asked this question, what do you share? What do you want to share with them? What should you share with them? What do they want to hear? All of those things are probably going through your mind. Well, I want to help you today and share a 3-part system to break this down to help you know exactly how to answer this question and what to share with them. So stay tuned so that we can get in the nitty-gritty of how to answer the interview question. Tell me about yourself. And they're putting the microphone basically in front of you to get this answer. It's pretty simple once you break it down. Let's go ahead and walk through those steps right now. Because this is a very common question, if not one of the most common questions that you will be asked. So be prepared to answer it, even at different levels of your interview. Do not be frustrated if you get this question more than once from more than one interviewer. You might be tempted to say, well, it's all in my resume, or it's all in the application, or it's all right there. No, it's all right here. It's them wanting to hear you talk about yourself and share about yourselves. One, to make sure that what you have on paper is in line with what you're sharing with them. And a lot of people have help creating their resume. Employers want to know that you know what's on your resume and you can, in fact, deliver what you say. So be prepared to answer this question when asked and answer it verbally and not redirect them somewhere else to find that answer for themselves. Because after all, you're in the interview. Talk and share with them. Okay. So let's go through the parts. Part 1, who are you? This is what you need to share with them. Part 1 of answering this question is letting them know who you are. So give a 1-sentence introduction of who you are professionally Or you can give a one-sentence introduction of the kind of professional that you are within your specific industry or within that specific industry. So this could include the title of your current role, or if your current role isn't quite in line with the position for which you are applying, you can still similarly reflect on those accountabilities that you have from your current role that are in alignment with the position for which you're applying and which you're interviewing, because you're likely on a similar career path, or there's some things that have attracted you to this position based on your morals and your values. So you have some similar accountabilities. There's some functionality that's similar. Comment on that or elaborate on that if your title is not similar to the one for which you are applying. So part 2 of answering this question is to share with them your highlights. These are your highlights, things that you are proud of and you're excited about. They're highlights. And you can highlight 2 to 4 points that make you stand out, because after all, you're in an interview to shine. So you want to shine on those highlights and make sure that you stand out based on the role for which you're interviewing, not just some random highlights about you. I'm sure you're great, and they can learn out more about your greatness after you get the job. Right now, let's keep the highlights focused on the position and points that make you stand out. So if you're thinking you don't have very many highlights, that's okay. Just 2 to 4. If you're thinking you don't have any highlights, then I think you need to dig deeper. Think you need to dig a little bit deeper into the things that you've done. You're not giving yourself credit. If you think that you don't have any highlights in your position or your experience, you're not giving yourself credit. So dig deeper. And if you don't have any highlights, then I suggest you have more initiative in your role. Request to lead more projects. Request performance improvement ideas. Request open lines of communication on the job. Suggest a suggestion box. Do something to take initiative in your role and follow that through. Document the process, because that can be one of your highlights if you don't have any yet. But I'm sure you do. Just dig deeper. And touch on those most recent highlights first, like the ones that you did last month and the ones that you did within the last 6 months. Touch on those first. Share those first, and then go back to the ones that you did a year ago, or maybe 5 years ago. That shows consistency in your highlights. First, touching on the most current, and then prior highlights last. So part 3 of answering the question, tell me about yourself. You want to share with them why you are here. Part 3 is sharing with them why you are here. What does that mean? Well, keep the focus on your response on the company. Your focus needs to be on the company. This answer needs to be focused on the company, and explain to them why you want them to be a part of your story. Because remember what I said here, right? This is what you are to them. You're a book. This book is the story of you. It's the story of your life. So explain to them why you want them to be a part of your story. So keep your answer concise. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be drawn out. Like I said, you're giving them a summary of your life story, and you want to make them intrigued. You want to make them excited. and you want them to want to learn more about you and to learn more about your story, which means hiring you, right? So basically, that's it. This is what you are giving them. Your answer to the question, tell me about yourself, is giving them a summary of you and a summary of your story. They want to know this when they're asking that question. They don't want to know this, which is all the chapters. So visualize this. When you're asked the question, tell me about yourself, tell the summary of your story in those 3 parts. Don't tell the whole story. So I want to give you an example. I'm going to give you just an example as we have walked through those 3 steps. This is what your answer could sound like, but apply it to your specific industry. So part 1 is the who you are. You could say, I've been in human resources for 5 years. I'm currently a compensation analyst for ABC company. Part 2 is what you did. This is the highlights. I was promoted to this role within 2 years of being at the company because I developed new processes that allowed for more efficiencies. And just continuing on with part 2, because you're telling them more than 1 highlight, 2 to 4 highlights. So prior to that, I worked at XYZ company where I dealt with high volume of requests and also got experience participating with 2 successful Kaizen projects. Performance improvement is great. Anytime that you can share that with an employer, it's awesome. Okay, part 3, I keep putting 4 fingers up. Part 3 of answering the tell me who you are is why you're here. So you can say something like this. Your company and this particular role caught my attention because your community service is in line with my passion to give back. With my range of experience, I see this as a chance for me to make an impact quickly in your company and as a major opportunity for growth as well. That's an awesome response. You can take those 3 parts and you can apply them to your position, specifically to your position. So your response doesn't need to be 15 minutes. 15 minutes would be you going through the whole book, chapter after chapter. Doesn't need to look like that. They just want to know a summary of you and a highlighted reel. So it doesn't need to be 15 minutes long. You can be respectful of the interviewer's time as well as leave them intrigued and wanting to learn more about you and learn more about what you have to offer to the company. They want to learn more. They want to learn more about you every day, which translates to a hire. So you're hired. All because of the great summary that you prepared and shared with them to the question, tell me about yourself. How cool is that? That is awesome. Good luck. Prepare your 3-part response to the question. Tell me about yourself, and you've got this. I know you do. I definitely know you do. It's easier once you just think of the idea of breaking it down into smaller chunks, putting those chunks together makes it a lot easier to get through that question without the pressure. It can seem like a lot of pressure to answer that question. Breaking it down, making it easier for yourself, make it better for the employer as well. Thanks for watching.